So now we are going to analyze the stresses in the lap joint. The parameter which you need to understand for analyzing the stresses is the leg size, that is represented by W. And in some books, you will see that it is represented by the letter H. And if the welding is like a right angle, isosceles right angle triangle, then the leg size will be equal to W, because both height and base is equal to W here. And sometimes it will not be same height, and the height and base will be different, like A and B here. So in that condition, the leg length can be considered as the largest inscribed isosceles right angle triangle, or the leg length of the largest inscribed right triangles. And another thing you need to understand the throat length. So if you look at the shear failure of the weld, the throat length actually represents the minimum shear failure area, and that is represented by the minimum length here on this right angle triangle, and that is represented by T. And if the leg length is W here, then T you can write it as T actually situated 45 degree with respect to the base or height. Then T you are able to write T is equal to W into cos 45, or W is cos 45 is equal to 0.707. So T throat you can write it as 0.707 W. But in the actual scenario, due to the weld penetration, the welding will be actually penetrated into the base plates. So in that condition, the throat length will be actually higher than the theoretical value. But this normally we will not consider for the stress calculation. So look at here, we are joining the two plates by using this lap joint, and you have the length is L and the leg size represented by H or W. Then if you draw the free body diagram of the weld, you will see that shear stresses is acting on the surfaces. And if you analyze where is the maximum shear stress, you will see that the maximum shear stress is occurring at the throat region. So then the allowable force you are able to write the allowable shear stress into the length of the weld. Here, if you look at here, this weld is handling the force F, and the welding at the other end is handling the same force F. And if you want to calculate the stresses, that is the force divided by the minimum area. Minimum area will be happening at the throat area, where you have the length of the throat will be equal to H divided by H into cos 45, or H by root 2. So then allowable force you are able to write allowable shear stress into L, the length of the weld into the width. The width is actually represented by the throat length, so that is equal to T. We represent by T here, and T is equal to the leg size into cos 45. Here we represented by using the leg size by using W, so W into cos 45. So for cos 45 is equal to 0.707. So you are able to write the allowable force is equal to 0.707 T allowable L into W. Now that is the condition which we have discussed for parallel fillet joint, where the forces are acting along the line of the weld. And suppose the forces are acting transverse to the weld direction. So transverse, we are now analyzing the transverse fillet joint. And here the welding direction is in this direction, and the force direction is just perpendicular to the welding direction. And now in this condition, if you analyze this welding, then you will see the normal stress at one surface and shear stress on the other surface. Then if you analyze, you are able to find out, I am not showing the derivation here, you can see that the maximum shear stress is occurring at 67.5 degree from one end, and the value of the allowable force will be is equal to F allowable is equal to 0.828 T allowable shear stress into L into W. And this is a condition whenever the forces are acting transfer to the exactly perpendicular to the direction of the weld. But whenever you have a combination of this force, you have the loading in the transfer direction and you have loading in the parallel direction. Then for a safety, we will consider only with the lower value, which we derive in case of the parallel welding, the parallel fillet welding. F allowable is equal to 0.707 T allowable L into W. And in this condition, what you need to remember that especially the equation which we have described here, this equation which we can use only whenever the loading is perfectly transverse. Suppose the loading may have some direction change, then for safety we are going to use this equation even for transverse welding operation, transverse welding process, transverse welding condition, loading condition. And during that condition, even if you look at the data book will give you this equation rather than this equation for for the safest design.